Smith. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Get ready with your legal questions and call Patrick now. 877-943-9673. Again, that's 877-943-9673. The law office is open. And now your host, Patrick Smith.
Good morning, Florida. We're happy to be with you this Saturday morning. Saturday, September 23rd. Is that right? Yeah, 23rd. So happy Saturday morning for all those of you listening. And if you've stepped outside, you'll realize we've got our first leaning towards fall. The humidity is not quite as Florida as it normally is. So step outside this morning, have that cup of coffee outside, but make sure you can keep the radio on with you for the next hour as you tune into the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. For those of you new to the program, this is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Call in every Saturday morning. Our community service to you. We answer your legal questions absolutely free of charge. No legal question is off limits. Call in now, 877-943-9673. That is your toll-free number to be part of today's broadcast, 877-943-9673. An action-packed show planned for you today. We would encourage you to call in to participate, 877-943-9673. What's always exciting to me is no matter how we have the show laid out, the calls can take it in a completely different direction, and that's happened, I'd say probably half the time. The calls take the show in a direction I had not planned to go in, but we love that. That keeps it exciting and creative around here. So to be part of the Attorney Patrick Smith Show today, we encourage you to call in 877-943-9673. By the way, for those of you who want the office line early, that office line is 877-754-6764. To book your appointment with me at the Sun City Center, Clearwater, or any of our other office locations, Sarasota, definitely one of our more popular offices now, you can call one toll-free number, 877-754-6764. I'll give that number out a couple more times during the show, but to talk to us today, 877-943-9673. So to kick off our show, I've been considering a new hobby. And as a conversation unfolded with my son, we were kind of discussing me getting into motorcycle riding and getting into that. So I've been considering that option. I'd ridden dirt bikes a little bit here and there, but never street bikes. And to be honest with you, they're a little intimidating when you know nothing about them. So to kind of educate myself, I actually met a young man yesterday by the name of Marcus, who's actually kind enough to join us on the line now. So Marcus, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Patrick, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me on.
No, Marcus, thank you for taking the time. Are you riding? My producer said you're riding your bike right now. Is that right?
I am in my helmet right now. I'm riding my bike to work right now. So first and foremost, apologies for any background noise that you. I unfortunately took one of my show bikes, so it might be a little loud.
One of your show bikes. How many bikes do you have, Marcus?
Bear with me one moment.
You have to count. Take your time.
Yes. I've been a while, and one of my hobbies is racing. So I do track days at Next Ride, which is the I work at. We actually host track. So I've had the absolute pleasure to be on a closed course, really refined. I think I actually have 6 motorcycles right now.
Is that all? Well, everybody's got to start somewhere, Marcus. Don't feel bad about that. I mean, no. Well, hey, okay, Marcus, thank you for taking the time, and I am going to let you give a plug to Next Ride. But when I was talking to Marcus, within the first 30 seconds, I could tell Marcus had forgotten more about motorcycles than I'll ever know. And so I said, Marcus, what are the top 5 laws, motorcyclists should be aware of in the state of Florida? And I kid you not, folks, like he was on cue, he rattled off 5 immediately. So I said, Marcus is going to be a treasure trove of knowledge on, and I've got some show prep to kind of round it out as well. But Marcus, quickly, just sort of those, and if you have a question, a motorcycle related question for Marcus, while we got him on the hotline, you are welcome to call in and ask Marcus your motorcycle question. He'll know the answer, I guarantee it. But Marcus, kind of go through that list we went through yesterday in the shop about the top 5 laws that motorcyclists should be aware of in the Sunshine State.
Sure, absolutely. So the first and most prevalent one, it doesn't matter what motorcycle, is going to be speed. That goes for motorcycles, that goes for cars, but especially for motorcycles. Reason why is I'm currently in third gear going 40 miles an hour. If I were to pull my throttle just a little, I could be very quickly third gear. So being conscious of around you, conscious of the way that you're riding, is probably going to be the easiest way to keep you out of trouble. This motorcycle that I'm on currently does have cruise control. Have a motorcycle. Well, I can't, count how many times that has saved me. You click a button, you set it, you forget it, and you don't touch your throttle.
So number one, making sure that we observe all speed requirements, because you're right, it is quite easy on a motorcycle to just sort of, because the acceleration on a motorcycle is breathtaking, and it's almost up there like with, driving a Tesla. It's like you're being fired out of a cannon. So number one, making sure that you observe all the speed requirements, because you are going to accelerate a lot faster than you're used to when it comes to driving like a truck
absolutely.
or a car. So, all right, Marcus, number two, what's the next item that our motorcyclists, either new or experienced motorcyclists, need to be aware of when they're on the Florida roads?
So this one's going to sound a little confusing. Traffic lights. Now, what do I mean by traffic lights? Yes, everyone needs to pay attention to traffic lights. Don't run red, things of that nature. For whatever reason, I've been riding for, I started riding. For whatever reason, other drivers forget traffic lights. You are driving a motorcycle. So pay extra attention when you presume a green light. You're good to go. This isn't necessarily a law, but this is just.
Well, and Marcus, this is something I tell every motorcyclist I know. You got to be safe out there, because it's a matter of fact. If you're in an accident and you're on the motorcycle, no matter whose fault it was, the motorcyclist loses 10 times out of 10. And that's because you're on the motorcycle. So number two, making sure that you not only observe the traffic signals accordingly, but make sure that you're making sure that other people are observing the traffic signals accordingly. Is that a proper restatement of your rule number two?
Absolutely. Just because people don't see it.
All righty, guys, we're going through a kind of top 5 list of laws that motorcyclists need to be aware of with Marcus from Next Ride over on West Bay. And like I said, Marcus, before we let you go, I'll have you give out a plug to the shop. But number 3 on your list, the third law that motorcyclists should be aware of. Did we lose you, Marcus? Oh, no, you're there. Good. Okay, yeah, number 3 on the list.
Number 3 is going to be motorcycle modification.
Motorcycle modification. What do you mean by that?
Correct. So different laws and different ordinances actually have certain requirements for motorcycles. Things as easy as your license plate holder. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know the law exactly in terms of inches, but you need to have a license plate holder that is a minimum of 3 to 4 inches out from the back of your tail. Your tag needs to be clearly and visibly seen.
Yeah, there's a statute that says you can do nothing to obscure that tag either. So sometimes people who put like stickers or decorative covers or those shields over them to try to obscure it, you can actually be cited for that.
Yeah, and oftentimes motorcyclists don't even do shields. They will tuck their license plate so far underneath their tail, or for instances of Harley riders, their license plates where they can fold back.
Yeah, I've heard of that where some, when they're they're trying to run, they'll flip the plate so that the officer in pursuit can't get a reading. And you should never run from law enforcement because you can't outrun Motorola. But I think it's a matter of making sure that if your plate is secured, I think if you're going to flip it up, it has to be manufactured in such a way that you could look at it and tell, okay, someone can flip this plate up quickly. So that's probably going to draw the attention of law enforcement anyway, I'm guessing. Even if the plate's not obscured, if it looks like it could easily be flipped up, that's probably going to get their attention, Marcus.
And additionally, a license plate, I believe in Tampa, don't quote me, if I'm not mistaken, Tampa actually has, so you can. Yeah,
you're cutting in and out a little bit. I think you were saying that Tampa may have some sort of local ordinance on that, Marcus. Is that right?
Correct. Local exhaust noise.
Oh, exhaust noise. Yeah, I know that's a big requirement. So you have to make sure you have proper exhaust on so that you don't violate any noise ordinances. And Marcus, number
Correct.
4 on your list. Number 4 item that motorcyclists in the Sunshine State should be aware of.
I would say that it's, no matter how much you may want to do it, you cannot lane split or lane filter. So while I'm a big proponent of lane filtering, not lane splitting, you're still not allowed to do it. California allows lane filtering, but here in the Sunshine State, you cannot.
I've seen it. When I was in California, I saw lane splitting, and I'll be honest with you, it's scary for everyone involved, in my opinion, because you're just sort of there, and next thing you know, this bike's sort of going in between. And apparently they also have this thing in California. If you don't like move out of their way fast enough so they can split, apparently they like some riders will like strike the back of the vehicle with their hand. Have you heard of this?
I have not heard of that one, no.
Yeah. Apparently it's a thing out there in California, and it actually can occur. So finally, number 5 on the list, what's our last thing that motorcyclists should be aware of according to Marcus?
I would say always wear your gear, specifically your helmet. If you are under the age of 21 years old, you are required to wear a helmet in the state of Florida.
All right.
I unfortunately have had friends who didn't. And they paid the price for it. Typically, unfortunately, in a less good state than they should be.
Well,
but,
I've had my father tell me this numerous times when we would be out and about and you'd see someone riding a motorcycle without a helmet. He said, "You know what we call that, son? We call that person an organ donor." And it's because if you're riding a motorcycle, it's dangerous enough. If you're not protecting your head and neck area, I mean, it is just infinitely more dangerous if you're in an accident. And I've seen it, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, where you've seen motorcycle accidents and someone wasn't wearing a helmet and there's just that sheet draped over the body on the side of the road. There was just nothing to do. So wearing the helmet can save your life for sure. And I'm sorry about your pals who were injured, Marcus. But with our last few seconds together, Marcus, give Next Ride a plug if people want to stop by, visit the shop, or pick your brain for more knowledge. How would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually have 2 locations. We have one location in Tampa, and we have a second location in the Largo area. So the first location, Tampa, is going to be 25 East Adamo Drive. And then our Largo location is going to be 3375 East Bay Drive. You guys are more than welcome to swing on by. Everyone at the shop has been doing this for a really long time. So we're very passionate about it. That's the biggest thing about the motorcycling community, is that we're always very inclusive, and we always want to expand the sport, both in your safety and just having additional people along for the experience.
You and
wonderful.
Daniel and Rob were all super welcoming yesterday, and a treasure trove of knowledge, and definitely made it simple to understand. So, and Marcus, I appreciate your willingness to come on the show and educate the populace about motorcycle law. So, Marcus, we appreciate you taking time to be part of the show, and hope to have you back on a future broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, Marcus. Have a great Saturday. Alrighty, that was Marcus with Next Ride. If you guys need anything motorcycle related, absolutely fantastic shop. I didn't know they had the second shop. That was news to me, the fact that they had another location in Tampa. So if you want to be part of the show, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of today's show. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, and I'm your host, local Central Florida attorney, Patrick Smith. All right, let's go to my hometown of Winter Haven and let's talk to Ruth. Ruth, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Good morning.
Hey, Ruth. How's Winter Haven today?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Good.
Starting to get that cool weather. Yeah.
So are you originally from Winter Haven?
No, I'm originally from New York. I've been down here since 8th grade. Since I was 8.
Well, I was going to say you have the perfect quintessential Winter Haven or Polk County accent. You do not have that New York accent. You know that, right, Ruth?
Oh, I've been gone long enough.
Yeah, you've been gone long enough, I'd say, because you've got the accent down perfectly here. So, Ruth, how can we help you today?
I would like to know, how long does it usually take to get a simple wheel and trust fund? And how extensive does a simple one have to be?
My simple trust package is $695, and that covers not only the trust, but as you mentioned, the will that goes along with the trust, the power of attorney, healthcare surrogate, living will, and the deed for any homesteaded property. So that's the simple trust package, and we apply that package for estates that don't exceed the estate tax exemption, which is currently over $12 million. So if you're under $12 million, that simple model often fits best, and that's our fee. The time, I would say most of my clients finish the process start to finish in about a month to 45 days. It depends on the client because we get them the drafts pretty quickly, within, I would say 10 to 20 business days-ish. And then once they get the drafts, it's really up to them how long they want to spend with the drafts, editing, modifying, calling with questions. So some clients will take months to get back to us. But I would say if a client's being, super conscientious about it, usually about 30 days-ish. And we, of course, have special scenarios where people come in and, they've got surgery next week and they need to get this done quickly. So as much as my calendar will permit, we'll try to expedite that. We don't like doing it that quickly. We'd rather people have time to sit with the documents a little bit and kind of really think about the decisions they're making and not make them in haste. But I would say typical turnaround time, about 30 days-ish, Ruth.
Okay, thank you, and you have a blessed day.
Well, Ruth, you do the same, and take care of Winter Haven for me. All righty, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of today's show. I'm Attorney Patrick Smith. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Again, that number, 877-943-9673, or email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. And I jumped straight into talking to Marcus from NextRide. I failed to mention we got Jose screening your calls today. So for those of you calling in, you'll get to speak with Jose, who'll be getting you queued up to go on the air with me. And also with us, a very special producer guest, our producer, Joe Weaver. Joe, welcome back to the show.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be here with you, Patrick. I couldn't be more excited to be here with you this morning.
Well, and so, for those of you who know the story or are fans of the show, Joe now is currently operations manager, programming director. But as we were sharing, we've known each other since you were a board op.
We've known each other 17 years.
17 years.
Something like that?
Yeah, that's right. Because I think we just passed my 17th anniversary in practice. I think it was the 21st of this month. So, yeah. So a long time, but Yumiko's out. She's a little under the weather. So everybody say a prayer and send some positive vibes to Yumiko that she'll feel better soon. But special thank you to Joe Weaver for stepping up and coming in and producing the show today. Joe, we appreciate you.
Happy to be here.
All right. So we were there talking to our buddy Marcus at NextRide about some of the laws, a couple other laws that Marcus didn't hit on that I want to touch on for everyone. He mentioned the helmet law. By the way, I just want to stress that one enough. Wear a helmet if you're riding a bike. And if you're under 21, like Marcus said, you must wear a helmet. He also mentioned the fact that lane splitting is illegal. A couple others. Wheelies and stunts are illegal. You're not allowed to do that sort of tomfoolery on the roadways. Like if you're on a track setting or a private thoroughfare, obviously different set of rules there. But on public roadways, not allowed to do that. That's a good way to get yourself potentially arrested or cited at the least. So, and by the way, your motorcycles have to have mirrors. You got to have proper mirrors. Some guys, I don't know if it's a lines thing, like they like the sleeker look of no mirrors or just like the danger aspect of it. I'm not sure what that's about. In addition to that, there has to be eye protection for all riders. You have to wear the mandatory eye protection so to protect your vision while you're riding. And here's one that Marcus, I can't remember if he hit this one or not. You actually have to have an endorsement to ride a motorcycle. So like the very little bit of riding that I did was on a dirt bike, which is, you don't need that motorcycle endorsement because you're on a private dirt track. But if you're going to ride a motorcycle in the state of Florida, you have to get your motorcycle endorsement on your ID. And some of you may be required to take the Motorcycle Safety Foundation or basic rider course, rather, offered by the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. So you will need to take that course. And it's a good idea if you've never ridden before to get that experience and make sure that you're properly prepared to be out on the roads, both to protect others and to protect yourself. So if you have a question on any of those motorcycle laws or any other legal topic, 943-9673. 877-943-9673. And it just came to me. The other thing you want to do before you get out on the road on your motorcycle, after you've done all your prep, you've purchased your helmet, you've got your mirrors, you got your credentials now on your driver's license, your endorsement. Make sure you get a will. Right? It's dangerous out there on a motorcycle. You want to make sure you got your plan in place. And with that, let's go to Lakeland and let's talk to Larry about wills. Larry, thanks for making in the easy lead in with that wills comment. So Larry, how can we help you today?
Thank you, sir. I'm sure you've talked about this subject many times. My father is in hospice, and he has typed up a piece of paper explaining what he wants done and how he wants done it, and he's had it notarized, and he's had me and my brother sign it. Now, is that efficient enough to get through what we got to do with selling his property or anything, or do we have to go a step further?
Larry, can I tell you how much I love this fact pattern? Because this is the most Polk County will-making story that I've ever heard. And I just want to spend a few, and I'm from Polk County. That's not a dig at Polk County, but this, if you're from Polk County, you appreciate this story so much right now. So you said, and just to get all the players straight, you said it's your father who's in hospice, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you said he made out what is basically a declaration of his intent. You didn't call it a will, but I got a feeling that in your mind, you're sort of thinking of it as a will. Is that correct?
That's what he calls it.
Okay. So he called it his will, and you said you signed it and your brother signed it, and it was notarized.
Yes, sir.
Well, can I ask one other question? Did your dad sign it?
Yes, sir, he did.
Okay. So I think it's going to come down, it's going to be a close call, Larry. So in Florida, holographic wills aren't valid just by being holographic entirely in the testator's handwriting. However, if it's a handwritten will that meets with Florida's requirements for wills, meaning it's signed by the testator at the end in the presence of two witnesses, it can be a sufficient will. The issue here is, were there independent witnesses who signed that document, or were just you and your brother the only two witnesses?
Well, me and my brother and the notary was the ones that signed it, along with my father. There was my sister-in-law and everything was present, but they did not sign it.
So it sounds to me like there was an attempt to make it what we call self-proving. Now, here's the difference. So with a valid will, it's signed by the testator or testatrix in the presence of two witnesses at the end of the document. If it goes a notch beyond that with the self-proving affidavit, that's where the notary comes in. There's the affidavit language. What they're trying to do is make it self-proving so that none of the witnesses have to give an oath when the person has passed away to get the will admitted to probate. It sounds like that's what they're trying to do. If you and your brother, do you mind sharing on the air, Larry, are you and your brother beneficiaries under this particular will?
Yes, sir, we are.
So that would make you an interested party. So if you're going to be an interested party as a witness, I think that's probably going to torpedo the self-proving status of the document. So the question will then become, can you give an oath as a witness to an unself-proving valid will? And that's going to come down to the judge and the way the judge interprets the statute. It's probably, I'm guessing, going to work okay, but I would need to look at the document, Larry, to give you a 100% sure answer. So if you want to call the office line, we've got an office there in Haines City, Winter Haven, or you can email it to me. I can talk to you over the phone about it, but I would need to put eyes on the document to tell you what I think as far as the actual likelihood of success. And of course, if it's not successful the way it's drafted, we can, of course, help you draft something that will be more efficient for your father when he passes. So you said he's on hospice. How's he doing today?
Not very good. He keeps repeating himself and talking about he's tired and ready to go. So I think we're just about down to the final wire, to be honest.
Is your mom still with us?
No, sir. She's passed 3 years ago.
So how long was your mom and dad? How long were your mom and dad married?
Oh my God. I'm 58, so 57 years.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
They
made it a long time.
Yeah, that is a long time. And it sounds like he's just ready to go see your mom.
Yeah, that's what he keeps repeating. So I think that's what it's coming down to. But
Yeah.
that was my question. I just was wondering what all I had to go through, even though he did all these typed up, notarized things, and
Larry, I
he's
love
doing it old school.
Yeah, well, that and like I said, it's a do-it-yourself county. We don't need to hire someone; we can do this ourselves. And and I like that. But at the end of the day, when it gets this important, Larry, yeah, have an attorney review that, and that way you can make sure. But in the interim, we'll be praying for your dad and you and your brother and all the other family. Okay, God bless you guys.
All right, thank you, sir.
All righty, have a great day. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. So far on all Polk County edition of the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. If you want to be part of the show today, give us a call. Jose, the call screener, standing by to get you queued up to go live on the air with me, Attorney Patrick Smith, with any of your legal questions. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. We kicked off the show with Marcus from Next Ride talking about safe motorcycle laws and laws to be aware of as a motorcyclist. And so if you have a question on that, of course, we'd be happy to answer your question. 877-943-9673. And that was still probably one of the coolest interviews we've done of all time, Joe, because that was entirely in his helmet. That technology, it cut out a little bit here and there, but overall, that was pretty good sound quality for a microphone in a helmet. What do you say?
Well, not just that. I mean, yeah, there was a little bit of cutting out here and there, but the audio quality was fine. How about the off the top of his head expertise while driving about literally everything that you asked him? There was no hesitation about any of it.
Well, that's the thing. And that's why, yesterday when I met him and the question came up, it's just like this instant, almost professor-like response. It's like, okay, let's begin with the foundation.
Yeah, there's no hesitation. It's just right into it.
Right. We're going to go on. I'm going to tell you a story to answer your question. And you instantly feel this expertise dripping off someone. And I'm like, yeah, I told him, I said, Marcus, you should have your own. And I was telling you this. I said, you should have your own radio show about motorcycles and bikes and things like that. And I was like, what would be really cool is if you did a show about, safety issues. And I was like, oh, wait. I have a radio show. We can do that tomorrow. And Marcus was all in and all about it. And the guys at the shop were all excited. So yeah, I mean, super cool guy. And yeah, we're going to have Marcus back on the show. I can already see that coming in the future. Maybe we'll have some new motorcycle laws or something get passed. 877-943-9673. All right, let's go back to Polk County and let's talk to James this time. James, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Yes, sir. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. James, how can we help you today?
Well, I had a brother pass last year. He was a veteran, VA, and I went to Bartow to try to get his stuff. But my niece, they told her the reason we can't get her stuff because my niece paid for the funeral.
Well, your niece, you're talking about your late brother's daughter, correct?
No, she's not the daughter. She's me and his niece.
So it's a daughter of another sibling.
No, she's not his sibling. She's my niece.
Right. So you have another sibling besides the late brother.
Yes, I got another brother. I got two more brothers and one sister.
Okay, and this child belongs to one of them, the niece.
No, he's my brother. She belongs to my sister. She belongs to my sister.
All right, we're making real progress here, James. Okay, so your sister's daughter paid for your late brother's funeral, and Bartow told you, and you mean the clerk of the court's office at Bartow, I presume?
Right, the probate.
Yep, the probate division told you that she got a hold of everything. So it must have been a pretty small estate. Was it less than $6,000 in assets, James?
It was $4,000, I think, left on his funeral.
It sounds like what they did was a disposition without administration. Did you ever get copies of the paperwork?
No, sir, they wouldn't give it to me.
Okay, so I tell you what, give me a call at the office on Monday. I'll pull up. You don't have to do it on the air now. In the privacy of that call, I'll get your brother's name. I'll pull up the docket in Bartow and see what I can find as far as what was filed, if anything, and give you a little more peace of mind about what was done. Do you have an attorney representing you on this, James?
No, sir, I was trying to get one, but the lady at probate told me it won't do me no good because he got a hold of some money. He paid off the funeral, so ain't no way he get his assets.
Yeah, it sounds to me like the amount of assets that your brother left went towards his funeral expenses. So there's probably no money. What she probably did was get the ability to pay that funeral bill. But if you want to confirm that, like I said, just give me a call at the office next week. I'll give out the office line here in a few moments, and you can give me a call, get your brother's name, and we'll see what information we can find, James, to give you a little peace of mind. And I'm so sorry about your brother. How old was he?
He was 63.
62.
62. I'm 61.
He was
He was just a year
52.
apart. Yeah.
That's a young man.
Yeah.
Well,
he had internal problems
well, how is
from the military.
how's the rest of the family handling his passing?
Well, like we said, my sister upset about it because we believed our oldest brother.
Yeah.
But my older brother finally came out and said, well, they was real close. I said, that don't got nothing to do with it. That's my brother.
Yeah. Well,
I don't care if she handled it wrong. She should have let the family handle it.
Well, I hear you, and I've lost a sister myself, James. So I will say a very special prayer for you and the family. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. God bless you, James. Look forward to helping you next week. Just give me a call, okay?
Yes, sir. And his name is Raymond Jerome Knight.
Okay. That's fine. And then just have that name handy, and we'll give it a good look over the court docket next week and see what information we can find for you. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, James. All right. You're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. We're live. We're local. We're happy to help any way that we can. All right. So we are going to break up the all Polk County edition of the show. We're going to go to Brandon, and we're going to talk to Mike. Mike, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hey, thank you very much for taking my phone call.
Happy to do it, Mike. How can we help you today?
I was divorced 15 years ago. I was married 18 years. Soon after I got married and we were getting ready to have kids, I went ahead and got a will. You know, leaving everything to my wife and vice versa. I've been divorced 15 years, and I just realized this week that I signed that will, believe it or not. Is it still good? I mean, do I have to worry about that?
Maybe there's some laws that have effect on the designation of a spouse and then the effect of a divorce on that. So you said you have not done a new will since that 18-year-old will that named your former spouse as a beneficiary?
That is correct.
Yeah, I think you need to have it reviewed by an attorney, and you almost certainly need to have it updated to reflect your current wishes, Mike. So do you have an attorney you're working with?
No, but I intend to go to you to set up a trust.
Okay. Well,
that's the way I want it to go.
Yeah, just give me a call. And as soon as we hang up, before I take the next batch of calls, I'll give out the office line, and we'll be happy to get you in the office and get you set up with whatever you need. But we'll start by reviewing what you currently have. And also, if you have your MSA from your divorce, your marital separation agreement, bring that with as well. Okay.
Sounds good.
All righty. Mike, have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, 877-943-9673. Mike hanging up does open up a line if you're trying to get in, 877-943-9673. You can hurry up and get in the queue, 877-943-9673. The office line that I promised James and Mike, that office line to schedule your complimentary consultation with yours truly, 877-754-6764, 877-754-6764. You can also submit your request directly through the website, attorneypatricksmith.com. A lot of you taking advantage of that. You can email me directly as well, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. But again, that office line, if you're trying to schedule your consultation, 877-754-6764. But to be part of the show, 877-943-9673. You can give us a call now. We're live and local. Before we go into the next batch of calls, I want to give out a special reminder. Oktoberfest will be happening this year at Kolb Park, sponsored by Action 2000, and it's going to be on Saturday, October the 14th. We will be broadcasting live from Oktoberfest that Saturday morning. And Joe, are you going to handle production that day? Are you going to be there?
I'll be there with you, yes.
All right, so Joe Weaver, jack of all trades. Handling production again, and it feels like old times, Joe. It just feels this feels familiar is the word I'm looking for. It feels comfortable. Does that make sense?
It certainly does. Familiarity, family. It's all good.
Yeah. So Oktoberfest, we'll be out there. We're gonna have some special guests stopping by. Mo from the Cat Named Mo Show will be stopping by the booth for a while. Also, Matt Steele from Truck U on the Motor Trend channel, and also of Trucks Gone Wild fame will be there as well to meet his fans. So if you want to come out and meet us, we will be there from noon to 6 p.m. at Cold Park, Indian Rocks Beach, Florida's Oktoberfest. And that will be Saturday, October 14th, again at Cold Park, sponsored by Action 2000. And 877-943-9673 is your number to be part of today's show, 877-943-9673. Next, we're going to go to Sarasota, and we're going to talk to Paul. Paul, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hey, good morning, Patrick.
Hey, Paul, how's Sarasota today?
Oh, it's beautiful out here. I'm sitting on the back porch having coffee.
Yeah, I can hear the birds chirping.
Yeah.
How can we help you, Paul?
Well, I have a question. We had a trust made for us about 6 or 7 years ago, and it came with a big binder with powers of attorney and all the other stuff with it. But the only 3 things we put into the trust at the time was our 3 parcels of real estate. But I wondered what kind of paperwork or how, let's say, for instance, I want to put my checking or savings account into the trust. Is there a certain paperwork you have to acquire to do that?
Yeah, you don't have to say your attorney's name, but if you have an existing relationship with your former attorney, just call them. That's called a funding instruction question. So ideally in that binder where, sometimes those binders, it's like they're charging by the pound for estate planning. In there should be some funding instructions that say, hey, if you want to move a checking account, a money market account, a brokerage account, here's how you do it. So if you find that information, it's probably going to answer your question. If not, call your attorney. If your attorney's not in practice anymore, you're welcome to call my office, schedule a complimentary consultation. I'll review everything with you and give you all of my suggestions, as well as show you how to get everything funded.
Yeah, I noticed there is a sheet of, and there's kind of a boilerplate fill in the blanks thing, maybe to put a checking account or a savings account, but I don't think there's any instructions for it. Generally.
No, when you look at that sheet next time, take a close look at it, and it's probably going to have a reference to a statute 732-515. That's a separate writing. That is for personal property. So that is for like you're bequesting the family Bible or a grandfather clock or a favorite jewelry item, something like that. So look very closely at that. And if you want to bring that to the consult or take that to the consult with your attorney, have them answer that question specifically. That doesn't sound like a trust funding vehicle. Trust funding instructions typically say something like your trust name is this. If you want to register assets to the trust, here's how you do it. It's going to read a little more like that as opposed to like a fill in the blank document.
Well, this does mention checking account and it says money market.
All
and
right.
most people don't have
Yeah.
so
Take that into your attorney and say, hey, how does this work? Because it sounds different than what I've experienced. But yeah, take it to your attorney and see what they say. And if, like I said, if that attorney's not in practice anymore, we'd be happy to meet with you. Okay, Paul?
Yeah, I don't believe they are.
All right. Well, just give the office a call. We'll meet you down in Sarasota. I'll be there Tuesday, I think, is the next time I'm there, or next Tuesday, something like that. So.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right.
Thank you much.
Paul, have a great Saturday, okay? 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673, or you can email me, Patrick, at attorneypatricksmith.com. Paul hanging up does open up a line if you're trying to get in. 877-943-9673. So we started off the show talking motorcycle laws with Marcus from Next Ride, and it sort of turned into a Polk County edition of the show with so many of the calls coming from Polk County. And speaking of that, let's go back to Polk County and let's talk to Faye. Faye, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Faye. Where are you in Polk County?
I'm in Winter Haven, and I listen to your show every Saturday morning.
You know that's my hometown, right?
Yes, I'm listening to you right on the radio, and you're saying it's your hometown. So I'm listening in Winter Haven right now.
Well, Faye, we appreciate you listening so faithfully. How can we help you today?
Yes, I have a son passed away 5 years now, since July, 5 years. And he was working at Aerospace. And I received a paper from all those stocks and bonds that he had. And when I called the company, E-Trade, they told me that the money is cashed out. So I said, how could that be? Because I know I didn't cash out any money from that company. So I just want to, I did have a lawyer before, and the case is closed. But so far, they sent me this paper of late. So I want to know where, the next steps. What can I do?
So, Faye, first of all, I'm so sorry on the
Yes,
passing
sir.
of your son. I can't imagine what that's like. That's
sir.
just not the natural order of things. No parent should ever have to bury a child. So, again, we'll say a special prayer for you guys. The short answer is it sounds like that 401k had a beneficiary on it and the money paid.
No.
Okay, so it did not have a beneficiary.
No, it didn't have a beneficiary. No, sir.
How do you know that?
Because most of what he had beneficiaries goes to the younger brothers, 2 brothers. So some of what didn't have any beneficiary, they just leaving out there. So, I tried to get with the company.
But they told you it had already been paid out. Is that correct?
It cashed out. So I said, what do you mean cashed out? So the lady told me in the office that she would send me a paper.
Mm-hmm.
So up till this time, she didn't send me a paper. So I said, okay, I'll try to find a lawyer about this because this don't sound right.
Well, you said you have counsel that you're working with on this?
No, sir. I don't have a counsel right now working with, sir.
All right. So just get me a copy of whatever paper they sent you as far as that account goes.
Yes.
I'll take a look at it with you. We'll get to the bottom of it one way or another, Faye. It sounds to me like it's possible, and I'm not saying this is definitive. Is it possible that your son cashed out the 401k before he passed?
No, sir. No.
Okay. So that's not in fact. So you have missing money. There's some money. Do you have any idea approximately how much was in the account?
Well, so far I'm looking on the paper I'm reading. It's saying 36,000. So I want to know what the cash out.
I mean, that's a lot of money. Yeah, that's a lot of money. It's worth a little research to try to figure that out. So yeah, Faye, give us a call at the office next week. Get me that paperwork. The staff at the office will tell you how to get that paperwork to me, and I'll take a look at it and give you a call. Okay.
Do you have an office in Winter Haven, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Right at 544 and 27, right on the Haines City Winter Haven line in the South State Bank building.
Okay. Oh, South State. Oh,
yep, we got a little courtesy office there. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I would like to find your office to go there and, let you have a look at that paper.
Sure, yeah. Attorney Jared Bailey, who's of counsel with my firm, actually goes to that office for me. So, but just give the office a call and we'll get with you and get you all the advice you need on that paper, okay?
What's your number for your office, sir?
877-754 6764. So 877-754-6764.
Okay. All right, sir. I will.
Faye, God bless you. Okay. We'll look forward to working with
you.
God
bless you too, sir.
All right. Bye-bye. All righty. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. 877-943-9673. That's your toll-free number. 877-943-9673. Feel free to email me as well. Patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. Patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, next we're going to go to Nick in St. Pete and talk about a wrongful death suit. It says, Nick, how can we help you today?
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
I just calling for some advice and potential, possibly counsel, obviously. But my father passed away on September 2nd due to some ongoing, long-standing medical issues. And while we were at this hospital, he had a whole team behind him, pulmonary specialist, internal disease, our internal medicine and infectious disease specialists, and a number of other types of doctors. And specifically the pulmonary specialist, the lung doctor, was very upset about the level of care that he was provided from previous facilities. And when I say facilities, I'm referencing like nursing homes, assisted living facilities, skilled nursing facilities. And he specifically pointed out a history of him being treated with a medicine called prednisone, which is a steroid, at an amount that's double the amount that you're supposed to have for a very long period of time, which he said directly impacted and affected his reason for death. are one of the reasons for death. Now, my question is, we have all of his medical records, the long-standing prescription records, and everything else. How hard is it to pursue a wrongful death lawsuit due to, I guess it's more of just not caring or
Well, it
however
sounds
you
to
say
me
it,
like you're pursuing a medical malpractice claim potentially. And the attorney that's on the show regularly, Attorney Jared Bailey, I actually just referenced him because he's the attorney who's of counsel and helps me out in Haines City, Winter Haven, and Apopka office locations on estate planning. But Jared also is a classically trained personal injury attorney. So this is right in his wheelhouse. And if you call the office, Nick, I'll put you in touch with Jared free of charge. He'll give you a case evaluation on that and tell you what, if any, paths to success you guys may have there. Because it does come down to various factors, you know, about the age of the person, the health of the person, the harm that was done, what caused the harm. So Jared can walk you through all that. Now, there are some statute of limitations issues. I know you said your dad just passed, but be aware there are some potential statute of limitations you need to be aware of. So I would give us a call sooner as opposed to later so that you make sure you do everything you need to do timely, okay?
Okay. And what is the number to that?
The office line is 877-754-6764. 877-754-6764. Just give us a call there next week, Nick. The office is open 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and we'll be happy to put you in touch with Jared and get you squared away there, okay?
Perfect. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Nick. Sorry about your dad, okay?
Thank you.
All righty. Let's quickly go to Susan in Wesley Chapel. Susan, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Good morning.
Good
Thank you
morning.
for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help?
I just wondered if there's any legal ramifications when an HOA is responsible for roof replacement on a villa, but the homeowner's insurance is required by the HOA, and the property is not able to be insured because the roof won't pass an inspection, and the HOA is refusing to replace the roof. They're only willing to repair the roof.
Gotcha. So I think what you're going to do is you're going to find yourself living and dying by the terms of the bylaws of that homeowners association. So do you have a copy of your homeowners association's bylaws?
Yes.
All right. So do you have a copy of your insurance contract?
Yes.
Okay. Keep both those items. Call the office next week. Attorney Scott Smothers is the attorney I work with who handles these sorts of matters for me. I'd be happy to give you a referral to him. There's a couple others as well. But at the end of the day, we'll put you in touch with an attorney who'll review both of those because it's going to be kind of a dueling contract situation. And you're sort of caught in the crosshairs and you need to know which way is the safest way out. Scott can give you that advice. Okay, Susan?
Okay. Scott Smothers. Thank you
Smothers.
so
Yes,
much.
ma'am. Susan, give us a call. We'll be happy to help. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you listen to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, 877-943-9673. Laney in Bradenton. Laney, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Good morning.
Hey, Laney, I have about a minute. Can you do your question in a minute or less?
I sure can.
Go.
T-Mobile has a habit of overcharging. It's become extreme. I have dealt with corporate previously, and they gave me money back in the form of credit on my bill. Over the past 6 months, it has crept up until it reached a basic plan of over $330 for absolutely no reason. They keep returning equipment to my bill that I don't own and that we've settled previously. And now I can't get corporate to get in touch with me. I've tried on numerous ways and numerous occasions.
So it sounds like a contract dispute to me. And like I just told Susan, Attorney Scott Smothers is the attorney I send most of my contract dispute cases to. So if you want to give me a call at the office next week, Laney, I'll put you in touch with Scott. It's going to be a matter of reviewing that service contract you have with T-Mobile to see what rights you have. My guess, I haven't looked at the contract, Laney, but I'm guessing there's going to be probably some sort of waiver of a right to a jury trial. There's going to be some sort of binding arbitration clause. And so it's going to be pretty rough going, I'm guessing. But Scott will tell you for sure what your options are, if any. Okay.
That's fantastic because I'm going to get them.
Laney, thanks for, keep it. You sound determined. I'm excited to hear the end of this story, Laney. So what station are you listening on, by the way?
1025 The Bone.
All right, Lainey, we appreciate you and all our other Bone listeners and all our listeners out there. Thanks for listening to the show.
Take care. Thank you.
All right, let's return. Someone called me out about how off I was. I'll wear it. I was off on my Gators prediction against Utah. I think it's a more accurate prediction. I'm going to go Gators 56, Charlotte 7. That's my prediction for tonight's Gator game. So good luck. Everyone stay safe. God bless. And of course, we'll see you back next week. And go Gators.
The preceding was sponsored by the law offices of Patrick L. Smith, W282CI Tampa, W271CY Lakeland, W262CP Bayonet Point.
Online at letstalkfaith.com or listen on TuneIn and Odyssey.
Strength between Sundays. This is your daily word on Faith Talk Tampa.
Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve that God's will is his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Romans 12, verse 2.